Hello and welcome back to the Renaissance Mix Tournament. This is my third out of 4 matches in the pool stage, and so far I have won 5 games and lost 3. Renaissance Mix is a collection of 75 cards plus additional landscapes focused on the Renaissance, themes of the Renaissance expansion, which I continue to not remember to look up so that I can say this more comprehensively, but I know it involves villagers and coffers and like saving stuff for later, I think, is one of the other things. Anyway, so it looks like we've got Recruiter as our source of trashing. We don't really have a source of draw, and there is Militia, so that's... I guess Archive is the draw. Okay. We're definitely going to want to open with a Militia. I guess... it would have been nice to go Militia Overlord, but it's not going to happen. Triumph is a potential payload option. Could be reasonable-ish with Sculptor. Like, it's going to be hard to buy a lot of expensive stuff, but it could be not too bad to buy some cheap stuff. There's also Pilgrimage, I guess, to help with it. So, given that we can't open Militia Overlord, I guess the question is, do you just open Overlord with the plan to play Overlord as Militia, or do we open like Silver or Cargo Ship or Border Guard, Ducat, maybe Militia? I think I'm more inclined towards the latter. I mean, I guess if anything, if I opened Overlord, I'd probably just play it as Recruiter as opposed to Militia, and maybe that is better. I don't know how important it is to get a Militia attack in early. Militia itself is the only thing that we would want to buy on 4, which does make the Militia attack a little bit less relevant, because unless you're hitting somebody's 5 copper hand, you're not necessarily preventing them from buying something. Of course, if you get an Overlord and you're paying off debt, then it can still matter. To knock somebody from 4 to 3 coppers. And there's also the possibility that, somebody opens Silver and Militia prevents them from hitting 5. Yeah, they are kind of taking their time here. There are a lot of options. I think flexibility of Overlord is hard to pass up. We could potentially end up playing it as Sculptor and buying a Recruiter if that makes sense. Okay, just thinking. I feel like, I mean, it's certainly an interesting decision, but oh, I guess I also didn't mention. I mean, okay, obviously I'm playing against Sirusc or Sirusc or however that's pronounced, who I have played once before in the team prep tournament. There's a pretty different context because you have already scoped out all the kingdoms in advance and should have a pretty good idea of what you want to do for the most part. So I actually have no idea whether this is representative of their normal play speed or not. There is another option here, which is if I'm going to get an Overlord anyway, I could get cargo ship or a silver or a border guard or a ducat. Obviously, that has the downside that then I have 4 debt instead of 1. Okay, so they're faced with a similar choice. Yeah, so if things go well, that opening could be really nice. You get the cargo ship, you play it and get like a recruiter onto it or something, and that could go really well. But we are going to get the Overlord. I think the debt. I think paying off the debt is probably better. No. No, I think I'm just going to go straight for the Overlord. Here, fortunately, we only hit 3. Can't buy a militia. We could take a cargo ship. Could just take like a border guard. Cargo ship is fine. Overlord is recruiter. That makes sense. Yeah, that's pretty much the dream draw right there. If you see cargo ship the previous turn, you don't get to cargo ship anything. They did manage to see it on turn 4. So in that respect, my opponent's opening looks better. Goes for Sculptor. Oh, not what I expected. Alright, well, unfortunately now my Overlord is going to miss the shuffle if I play it as Recruiter. I think I will nonetheless. Okay, let's take... I mean, we could consider another Overlord, but I think I'm going to take the Militia here, because we got the cargo ship coming up. We want to put something on the cargo ship anyway. I think I'm going to sculpt a Recruiter. Not sculpt, cargo ship. We're going to want to start looking into archives fairly soon, but well, so much for that. So much for that. All right. I could just take another Overlord then and just never buy an actual recruiter. I think that's what I'm going to do. It's just not good enough stuff to get at 3 and 4 for it to make sense otherwise. I'm going to find their militia. Be really sad. If I do get militiaed, I think I need to hang on to the estate so I can recruit it, even though there's some chance that I'll draw into, like 1/3 chance that I'll draw into the other estate. I still have, but it's 2/3 chance that I won't, so I don't really want to count on it. Okay, we're not getting militiaed. That's good. Pilgrimage, that was fast. Okay, we've got... If I knew whether or not I was going to draw into one of my actions here, we could just play it as market. We could play it as border guard. Yeah, I had totally forgotten that I had another Overlord waiting. I was like thinking it was the Overlord I had set aside, but of course it wasn't. That's not how that works. So yeah, we could play it as like Sculptor. We could even like sculpt a Ducat or something. We could play it as market to just draw. We could play it as archive to just draw. Border guard to draw. It's basically like, I think getting to our militia would be pretty nice. And the best way to do that is, I guess, is archive, though then the Overlord gets stuck for a while. So then we have the next best option, border guard. We could also just play recruiter first and sacrifice the villager. I guess we'll play recruiter first. All right, we find the militia immediately. That's good. So given that, we're only going to have 2 coins. We can buy a border guard. That's fine. We could sculpt something. I mean, we could play market or border guard or recruiter. Maybe recruiter is the way to go. We might find the other estate anyway. Yeah, let's do it. Sweet. Now we can actually buy something. Not much. Something. Well, I wonder... No, I probably don't want to Ducat. Buy a border guard. Border guard is not amazing here by any means. But while we still have coppers, it's doing some work. Could take a 3rd Overlord, but that seems like a kind of like a death spiral. I'm gonna take a border guard. Okay, well, I'm surely gonna get militiaed this turn. So that's great. I would really like to have 5, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Maybe I should have taken a silver. My hope was to that if I was going to gain silver, I'd sculpt it, but... Well, assuming... Okay, if I don't get militiaed, I'm definitely going to take an archive. If I do... It could be correct to take a silver. It's not really what I want to be doing. I mean, I could take another cargo ship as well. You would think if my opponent had militia in hand, they would just play it. Like, there's not, like... I mean, maybe they have Overlord and they're deciding what to do with that. They did play their Overlord last time, but they also triggered a shuffle on. Yeah. They played it anyway, unless they needed the Overlord to draw the archive to draw the militia, which they shouldn't have, because they didn't play it last turn, so, like, I don't know. Whatever. Pilgrimage to gain Overlord is pretty nice, I will say. Yeah, I think I'm going to take another cargo ship. I'm not really confident in that, but... So I've actually trashed one more card than my opponent, but I guess they've got some archives, and that's why their deck looks so under control. Meanwhile, I'm over here unable to hit 5. I really don't want to play my Overlords as archive just because it locks them down for so long, but I might need to this turn. We've got 5 coppers in our discard. It's like... Triggering a shuffle looks pretty bad unless we can get pretty far into it. And opponent is almost certainly going to militia me again. Probably means I'm discarding cargo ship copper. Oh. Well, I guess now we also had the cargo ship. Now we have another cargo ship. So we have 6 coppers and 2 cargo ships in that discard pile. Boy, it really feels like I'm just so far behind. Wouldn't be surprised if they just pilgrimage again. I'm somewhat inclined towards playing market first here. I really want to hit 5. Dang, I was really hoping I'd see my border guard. Either leave it on top or what? Play another market. I would hit 5, and I could just not play the border guard. Could play recruiter and trash a copper, probably. See if I can find cargo ship. So I play recruiter and then I play border guard to get through 3 out of like 7 cards. That doesn't look super hot. Just really feels like I'm losing unrecoverably here. I think I'm gonna do the market thing and that. Just buy an archive. Hopefully this turn we can start to get moving a little bit. It's probably too little too late, but... Unfortunately, we can't pilgrimage. We also don't really have a great third pilgrimage target. Like, we've got Archive and Overlord now, but we don't have any of the other 5s. Although I don't want, like, a whole bunch of Sculptors in my deck, so... I don't know. I'd rather be gaining markets, I guess. Or a recruiter. I guess you can always recruit whatever expensive card if you don't want a million copies of it. Right, it looks like my opponent did not have an amazing turn. I wonder if they're going to triumph here. They didn't get their cargo ship into play. Oh. Alright, let's archive first. Yeah, coppers naturally. So those 6 cards, set aside 2 coppers. We have a copper in hand, we have a copper in our discard. That's 4. So we've got 3 coppers in there, 2 cargo ships, and a border guard. And a militia. That's 7 cards. Okay, must only be 2 coppers. Oh no, wait, no, we have a cargo ship in our discard, right? So it's 3 coppers, a militia, a cargo ship, and a border guard. Okay. So really want to hit 5 again. I want to play my militia. It doesn't have to be the militia though. It could be Overlord's militia. We could play market again. That gets us to a whole 2 coins. And depending on what we draw... Depending on what we draw... I think that's... Okay. So we can just hit... We can hit 5 here. I mean, we could also consider doing the pilgrimage thing. We could... We play as recruiter. 2 coppers, militia, cargo ship, border guard. Yeah, there is some risk that we don't end up playing militia. All right, let's play militia then. And what I really need is more archives, more so than I need to be messing around with pilgrimage stuff. So maybe I should just take one. Worry about doing that later. I mean, it would be nice to get something else to get a gain off the militia that actually want to gain as well, but the more relevant thing is just that the archives are pretty vital, I think. So we're going to get militia almost certainly. We're going to discard 2 coppers. Get a copper back from our archive. Oh, wow. They've set aside 4 cards with Native Village? When did that happen? That's crazy. I wonder they're playing so thin. They just gotten insanely lucky to have it be like copper every time or something? What's going on, pilgrimage? Alright, do I want to trigger this shuffle? Yes and no. Making cargo ship... Well, cargo ship would miss the shuffle anyway. I mean, I could have a bigger turn. Or I could just end up decolliding my militias and my overlord, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think I will. I think we're just going to grab another archive. Yeah, I want to do the pilgrimage thing. Yeah, I want to get some other card to gain with pilgrimage, but I really, really just want to get archives too. So many cards set aside. I'm a little surprised that my opponent hasn't triumphed yet on a pilgrimage turn, pilgrimage gains turn. I feel like that's a pretty reasonable way of scoring. Boy, this is moving slowly. Still setting aside. My God. I'm gonna pick up now. No? This is madness. How many sculptors? Alright, well, we don't really care that much about the border guards. So let's grab that. And that. I think I want to... So I have 3 coppers set aside, 1 in my hand. So those should all 3 be coppers. Ugh. I could native village them away. And then maybe I do buy a market or a sculptor. I guess I could also play a sculptor, gain a native village if I want to actually have one in my deck. I'm not sure if I do. Also consider sculpting a ducat. This is kind of like a unique opportunity to know that the coppers are on top. Maybe I do want a native village in my deck. But then again, I don't know. Yeah, alright. Alright, do I just take a sculptor here, or do I take a market, or do I just take another archive? I think I'm going to take sculptor. Well, yeah, let's grab the sculptor. Like, we're thinned out enough right now that we don't desperately need another archive, so that won't last, but... I suppose at this point I'm mostly hoping to win on like a sneaky pilot or something. Like, my opponent definitely has more stuff in their deck. Their deck can do more than mine can, but... Well, they haven't scored yet, so... You never know. I also do think that they've taken too many sculptors. They have a lot of ducats too, and like, I don't want a ton of ducats in my deck, so I don't know. They have 8 cards set aside. I don't know, maybe they're somehow going to mega turn off of that. I don't really see how that would work, but you're going to be just as action limited that way as... I mean, they do have a lot of native villages, I guess, so you can play a lot of actions, but they're not generating like that much economy. I guess if you play enough sculptors, you can empty piles just with sculptor gains. Be something like that is the idea. This is Honestly, kind of bizarre, though, to watch. Like, what is happening? All of the native villages. Gotta be border guard. All right. I mean, the piles are definitely low. I think we're gonna have to think about. I mean, they're not gonna be able to empty these piles though. They have 4 sculptors plus a bunch of overlords, I guess. 4 overlords, so like 8 gains. So they could like empty these 2 piles. Why didn't they triumph? They gained so many cards. Like, all right, whatever. Start with the border guard. I think so. We have 4 copper set aside, 5, 6, 7, and then we have the cargo ship down here as well. So I think let's play archive now. I'd take the cargo ship, I think. Play the first overlord as a market, I think. That copper. Okay, so we could sculpt some ducats. We could also just sculpt some silvers. I'm thinking about triumph here. So we get 5, 6, 7 coins. If we sculpt silvers, we get up to 11. If we sculpt ducats, we don't change the number of coins. Lowering the ducats does seem a little bit dangerous. Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I mean, I guess we can play militia. Thinking about province triumph doesn't put me too far in debt. If I take silvers. I mean, I kind of don't want silvers in my deck in general. Just the downside of that. But we might have to play Lord as Recruiter coming up if we go that direction. We end up with 2 debt. We get, obviously, the province. We'll have gained province, silver, silver, estate. That's a 4-point triumph, which is not amazing, but it's something. We can cargo ship the estate and then recruit it next turn. My opponent, oh, they must be on the native village mat. I was going to say, how are they, do they still not have trashed all their estates? Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I just want some cushion here. I might want to discard cargo ship over silver here. What do we got coming in? Just coppers? Native village. Whoops. Am I gonna not get militia'd here? They did more set-asides. 14 cards set aside. What is happening? Like, unless my opponent plays this Overlord as militia, in which case they can't buy anything. I guess they could buy another native village, or they do it as Warguard or Archive. Then I'm not getting... I guess I could do it as Sculptor, too. Sculpt a militia. But, I mean, anyway, they just... Basically, if they just play militia, then they can't buy anything. This is... I don't know. I mean... I assume they have a plan, but I'm a little confused. I think we're going to lead off here with just Overlord as Recruiter, trash that estate. I think do Archive. I guess if you have that many Overlords, playing one as Archive doesn't seem so bad. Still not draw, though, right? They've got one card in. Of course. All right. I'm kind of changing my mind about the cargo ship. Being able to set something aside is pretty nice. I think I will do this. I mean, assume that what they wanted to do was Pilgrimage, but they like they set all their cards aside. What's the... yeah, I don't know. This is a ridiculously long game. Turn is at 13. That's not been a ton of turns. All right, do we want that native village? We probably do. We got 2 coppers set aside. What could we end up setting aside that we'd be sad? I guess we can always sculpt another native village. Border guard. Okay, that's fine. So let's Overlord as Recruiter. Set a state. Go ahead and play the militia. Their entire deck is 5 cards. I mean, it's not, but yeah. Play the cargo ship. So we're gonna have 4 coins if we just take like a Ducat or something, which on the one hand, I mean, they definitely have enough if they pick everything up, they're going to have enough stuff to be able to empty piles and then get a big triumph. So, like, I shouldn't make that any easier than I need to. I could just buy a duchy, I guess. Sculpt silver by duchy and just try, like, I mean, if they gain 7 cards and then, wait, that's not even going to end the game. Never mind. Okay. Yeah, so we don't need to buy duchy. We could take Ducat. We could go pilgrimage ourselves. Well, we're going to play the sculptor any which way. Maybe I shouldn't have kept the cargo ship, because I don't want to cargo ship the Ducat, do I? Yeah, I think I do want to pilgrimage here. We're probably playing this Overlord as Recruiter again. Just to be able to draw. Sort of cycle more accurately. Set aside, okay. I mean, there's the big pickup. All right, so what's happening? I guess there is a risk here that I don't get to militia. If I don't get, well, surely I will get militiaed. If I don't get hit by militia somehow, then I just buy province. But I could play, that is to say, I could play this as militia and just buy province. Surely I will get hit by militia, so. I mean, they can get a big triumph off this turn for sure. They can't empty piles though, so I'm really not sure like what the game plan was here. I mean, obviously having all those cards in hand, they should be able to do something good. But then like going forward, they have like so many matches. All stop cards. Well, more or less. Still don't really understand the... We've got 3 overlords because one of them is in play as an archive. And 4 sculptors. So 7 gains that way. At most. So they could like empty Ducats and native villages and also take like, you know, a border guard or an estate or something. They can probably afford a little bit. They can't afford enough to empty, you know, estates or border guards or whatever, because they have almost no econ. They certainly have actions. They don't lack for actions. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong and they can afford to buy out like the archives or something, but I guess if they pilgrimage, that you know is a one cheaper thing, and I guess they don't have to. This cargo ship, kind of regretted it last time, but that situation. I think I don't. I collapsed the thing. Oh, there it is. They have more money than I thought. Maybe they can end it. Yeah, because they pilgrimage for those 3 and then buy Archive, Archive, Triumph. All right. They could have bought coppers too. I don't actually really think that. I think if I hadn't fallen so far behind so early, which I don't know, that might have been mostly first player. I'm not really sure, but I'm not convinced that that approach was actually particularly good. What my opponent ended up doing. All right. This board looks like it has no trashing. It has Seer for draw, capitalism, so you can maybe do some Merchant Guild stuff without needing villagers. On the other hand, like, Merchant Guilds are hard to draw with Seers. Wondering about Fool. Fool seems at least fine, if not good. No trashing. So I think I probably will get it. Getting 5 here isn't necessarily super urgent. We got experiments we can get. I'm probably going to take an engineer too. Oh, right, lucky coin. Okay, well that makes Seer look a lot stronger and Merchant Guild look relatively less appealing. We can get the plus buy from Workers Village. So yeah, I think we probably just ignore Merchant Guild. I think we do want engineer. We probably ignore capitalism too. What was the other card? Oh, Gladiator. Whatever. I'm very likely not going to be hitting 5 on the first shuffle, but I think that's okay. Because I can buy experiments, or gain experiments, whatever, and then set up to buy 5 after that. But I want to get the engineer just because I think it's going to be valuable. There's so many cards to gain, costing up to 4, and Seer loves them all. Oh, or we could just hit 5, you know? I mean, that works too. I am down for that. Which does raise the question of should we go straight for Workers Village here with this gain? I mean, we're going to have trouble hitting anything next turn, I imagine. We got 3 estates and a Fool down here. So, like, there's definitely an argument for Experiment over Workers Village. Yeah, 4. So in those 8 cards, we have 4 coppers and 4 other cards. So realistically, I mean, we might hit 3. We might hit 3, but it's realistically we won't. So the plus buy is probably not going to come into play at this point. Oh, we could trash the engineer and plan to rebuy it across these 2 turns. That would make some sense. Yeah, actually, I'm down for that. Let's grab a workers' village and a seer. Yeah, we'll just rebuy it now. Unfortunately, that we don't see our fool. Did my opponent get a fool? They did not. Oh, they got scheme on turn 2? Wow, okay. I guess you get to scheme the engineer, but I'm not even sure you want to do that, to be honest. Another scheme? I don't get it. There is a world where this choice burns me, where I like draw into more coins. Well, I mean, I did see all 3 of my estates, so this is fool, copper, copper. So I'm gonna have 2 coins. If I like, you know, draw like silver, I guess one of those is lucky coin, right? I didn't play the lucky coin last turn, so but anyway, if I draw like, you know, sea or silver or something, but then because of the debt I still can't buy something. I guess that's not very likely though. Most likely I can buy something if I guess that probably the downside is more that I can't buy seer than that I can't buy anything, but whatever. I think it's worth it. Yeah, so we're going to be able to hit 3 at least. Probably take more experiments here. Okay, I mostly just want to get my draw up right now. Okay, so I can actually hit 5 because of the boons. Sweet. Let's go. I wonder if there's actually an argument for crypt on this board. If we get to trash, I think we actually prefer to trash copper over estate. So I'm going to discard estate. Okay. Maybe oh, I should play this engineer. I wonder if I should plan to rebuy it and just pop it like as well. I also wonder if I should get a scheme at this point. Try to scheme seer. You go. I mean, we could even go double scheme. Okay, that wasn't ideal. That last experiment play did not really work out. But we could buy something and then take a little bit of debt. We could even buy seer engineer. I think I will do that actually. This is obviously a fool discard situation. We should have another scheme down here. So we should be top decking a seer this turn as well. Is it? No, never mind. Yeah, I don't want that. Not at all. All right. Now we could once again pop engineer rebuy. We've only got 5 coins anyway. Like more experiments. I think I'm gonna do that. Although, maybe I should grab another workers' village now. Like, we're not gonna see this until we flip. Or I guess we are gonna have some crap in our discard. Still, I think I want to split the difference here. I think I'm going to discard a state here. So if I get the trashing boon, I'll just trash the fool. I'd rather... Like, unless my opponent gains a fool, fool doesn't do anything. I'd rather have the point. I mean, I'd rather trash a copper than either one, but... Ripped. Okay. Didn't rebuy engineer. Here, fool. Optics of copper. This is not an ideal shuffle to trigger, but we do have the scheme. Well, experiment looks less appealing because of the fact that we don't get a second one, which is pretty annoying. I think I'm going to take another scheme. We do have a couple of experiments down here, so this turn should be fine. It is too bad I didn't hit seer there, but that's my punishment for being greedy with my engineer use, I guess. Now there are experiments to gain. I don't think, yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think my opponent has plus pi. I do have a crypt. I can definitely set aside some copper. But they also don't have an engineer, so it's kind of an awkward spot for them. I go with the Merchant Guild, okay. I don't think they have the draw for this. Like, they did get the crypt, but they just expended all of their experiments. They have 1 seer. Like, I think they're underinvested in draw, even despite the crypt. We'll see, but I don't think this is going to work out for them. What are those 4 cards? Obviously, 3 of them are estates, but what's the 4th one? Have they only gained 1 silver? I guess that's possible. I will be discarding Lucky. Oh, actually, I don't get to trash. Well, I still think discarding Lucky is correct. Discard pile and put a card on top. Well, that's an easy choice. Top deck of copper, okay. Top deck of copper. Right, do we just want to gain more experiments here? Probably. Probably. Yeah. All right. I think I'm going to forbear on the lucky coin here since I don't need to play it. Just pick up 2 seers, and then I think we might be ready to start thinking about getting... We could get a crypt of our own. Could go seer crypt. Setting aside those coppers would be really nice. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that, actually. I think it's pretty powerful. I think you could get to a point with the crypt where Seer is drawing everything but Seer, basically, and Engineer, I guess. I mean, it won't last long because the coppers will come back, but still. I would think, as my opponent, want either a Seer or a Workers' Village. You can't put another terminal into your deck. You could demand, though then you don't get the coffer, but regardless of that, the point is, like, I mean, you could take capitalism, I guess, as well, if you're worried about terminal space. It seems easier to buy villages, like, they increase your draw, but whatever. The point is that, okay, village engineer, sure. I think I would have considered taking the second debt there as my opponent, but to get the workers' village instead. But top deck seer, okay. Top deck copper. Not quite a drawn deck here. We did find all 6 of our coppers, though. All right, let's grab some more experiments. So we have 10. We probably do want to play the lucky coin now because we're about to set aside all this copper. We're definitely gonna take another seer. Maybe we can afford to take a merchant guild at this point. don't know if it's a good idea or not, but I think yeah, I think it'll work out. We definitely want to set aside all the copper. Question is, how much silver do we want to set aside? Like, the more stuff we set aside now, the longer it takes the copper to come back. We have a good amount of silver as it is. I'm pretty sure both of these cards are silvers. Maybe one of them is a scheme? I don't think so. I mean, there's definitely a risk of, like, cramping my econ here. We go silver. Well, we probably want to be playing the lucky coin. So maybe we just set aside one. Set aside lucky coin. I have more buys than my opponent. I have more seers than my opponent. I think I have more schemes. There probably was silver scheme on top. Seer Merchant Guild, sure. Makes sense. You're not buying copper. I mean, copper, so. Oh, top decking. Right. Definitely taking lucky coin. Sweet. Probably just gonna take more experiments. Deck a seer. We're gonna draw. We don't need to play the engineer first. We can just do that. All right. So what do we want to gain with our engineer? We've got 8, 9 coins. Sorry, 10 coins, which is basically what we want anyway. So we could just gain another scheme. We're already going to be able to top deck 3 seers. We could gain a gladiator. Guess. I mean, I've got the terminal space for it right now. Just gain more experiments to be even more reliable. Play that. Like if I gain a gladiator, then I have to kind of have to gain another village if I'm going to gain another merchant guild, which doesn't seem too appealing. We could just gain another village in anticipation of wanting that for the purposes of playing, you know, more stuff next turn. That seems pretty reasonable. Let's just do that. I mean, arguably we have overdraw here and we could just grab 2 merchant guilds. We're gonna top deck 3 seers. We have 5 total. I think I'm probably down for that. Consider discarding experiment for a boon here, but or silver. What boons are left? Yeah, my opponent did not draw, unsurprising. Now we're probably going to want to transition back into getting more seers coming up here, just because as we start to get the coppers off, our draw is going to ramp down pretty noticeably. Okay, and there's only 1 more of them left. I actually wonder... We could... Alright, so what boons are left? Forest Gift, Wisp. So Swamp's Gift. We got both of the card boons. We got the action boon. We get the Mountains Gift. I don't remember. No. So that's left. Forest, Swamp, Mountain, and we got Moon's Gift. So no, wait, no, we got Moon's Gift. We didn't get Sun's Gift. Okay, so Wisp is arguably harmful. Mountain's Gift would be great. Sun's Gift is fine. And Buy Gift is obviously good. So yeah, we'll discard silver. Okay. I mean, we might as well do this, even though we can draw those cards with Seer anyway. Just because. Deck a merchant guild. Top deck 2 merchant guilds. Okay. All right. Once again, we probably don't really need to gain whatever with engineer. So we got an estate. In our discard, we have a silver and then 2 more silvers and an estate. So 3 silvers and an estate, which we definitely want to draw. So the question is just, do we want to put other stuff in there? I mean, probably the thing to do here is to just play the experiments and gain more experiments. Is it possible that I could win on a pile out here? I don't think so. If I have like 7 buys, no, that's not nearly enough. Yeah, that's not nearly enough. I think we just want to keep our drop. We gain experiments, we gain seer. So we have terminal space if we don't play engineer. We can also play engineer mid-turn for a village and then draw it and then play. So we can get another merchant guild. So if we go seer merchant guild, that's 10. What I'm wondering is there any risk that my opponent can pile? I wouldn't think so. They have fewer merchant guilds. Like, they're not going to be able to pile on experiments because they're going to have to draw with their experiments. They don't have any workers' villages. So they only have 3 buys plus the engineer gains. They have like 5 gains at most. They can play engineer to gain buys maybe, but still, like, I don't think they have the draw for that. So I think we go merchant guild seer. Could take another workers village. I guess we probably do want the silver here. We could buy capitalism just to be able to not worry about the villages, I guess, but that seems a little silly because we don't get a coffer for it. If I had 1 more coin, I would go Merchant Guild Seer Province. I guess I could forego Merchant Guild and just buy like Seer Province. Workers Village or something. Experiments. Seer Province experiments would be reasonable. But I don't think I need to be that conservative about it. Take the experiments or the workers' village. I think I'm going to take the experiments. I guess if I'd spent 1 coffer, I could have bought 2 more experiments. I probably should have done that, huh? Oh well. So we got Sun's Gift. So what we have left is mountain, swamp, and forest. Forest would certainly be nice. Swamp, like I said, is probably a net negative. I think I might discard engineer, though, is the point for the boon. I mean, mountain could still be good. Yeah, my opponent still not drawing despite having added 2 more seers last turn, and looks to be light on actions as well. I mean, they can pick up some more villages here, but if I draw really, really well here, there's a chance I don't need to play very many experiments and compile on them, but probably not. It's also possible that I should consider a second crypt at some point soon if the game isn't over already, just to like okay, province, yeah, makes sense. Well, that makes it more likely that I can indeed pile. If should I discard? No, I want to discard it. Well, no, I should discard copper, I guess. Got a silver. Okay, well, wasn't exactly what I was looking for. Top deck of Merchant Guild. All right, that's a lot of cards that we need to draw. That is not all of our seers. So we get engineer for experiments right now, and then trash engineer and engineer for scheme. There's a very good chance we can buy. Like, we have a copper in the discard. We have a silver. That's it? So we shouldn't even need to play these experiments. Oh, I guess the problem is, oh, we need to take a workers' village so we can play all 4 of our merchant guilds. So go experiment workers' village. All right, 14. This has got to be enough, right? Like to buy. If it isn't, I would want to consider playing an experiment just to make it harder on my opponent. But this has got to be enough. 14, 15, 16, 19, 32. Yeah, that's definitely enough. Yeah. I am actually not sure what my opponent did wrong early to fall behind there. Oh boy, these have been long games. All right, what do we have here? Treasury and junk dealer for trashing city quarter patron. Okay. Okay. We're going to want a sinister plot, I guess. There's also livery. Oh my gosh. Do we even need sinister plot? I guess that's the question. We could go plot lackeys. We could go patron lackeys. You know what isn't on this board is plus buy. So Triumph is not looking so hot. I mean, you can play a bunch of treasures to gain a bunch of copper or something, but I don't. That's what you want to be doing. I think you just want to reliably be provincing by storing up coffers for patron. That, though, like increases my estimation of the value of sinister plot because you're not going to spend as much time getting reliable. So I think I do want to go plot lackeys. I don't really want silver here, if I can help it. With 7 coins in my deck and a lackeys, give me to 6 cards. What are my odds of hitting 5? I don't know, but I guess we can always buy patron and lackeys if we don't. Also, like, just pop the plot right away. Make sure we draw. I guess it's not actually even guaranteed though if we draw a card here. So token. All right, treasure or junk dealer? It's probably got to be junk dealer as much as I want it to be treasurer. King of the Estates is more important. That +3 coins looks so nice, but okay, so if we don't draw our third estate here, or if we draw lackeys, then we're going to hit at least 4 for patrons. So I'm going to add token again. Let's get a patron. Here, we're guaranteed to hit at least 4. We're very unlikely to hit only 4. We'd have to draw exactly a state out of those cards in the discard pile. So I feel pretty okay not popping the plot again. And if I have to buy another patron, that's not the end of the world. Right, so yeah, this is probably treasurer. I don't know, what am I using this plot for? I can hit 5 again. Probably want livery. We're gonna want a city quarter soon, but I think we get livery first. Although livery, it doesn't want you to buy city quarters, so maybe not. I mean, I definitely don't... Like, the city quarter is not good right now, but I think this is a pretty opportune time to buy it. And maybe we just pop the plot now and make sure that we get to livery this turn. I think maybe we'll get like 2 city quarters-ish. I'm not really sure. We don't need a ton of villages, because the only actual terminals that we're going to have are livery and treasure. I mean, I guess if we get another livery. It's more about, like, the draw and the revealing patron. Don't have the patron in my... That's distressing. There we go. take delivery here. And then be pretty much ready to province, I guess. I mean, you might probably want another city quarter, but just about there. If I don't find livery this turn, it would be a good time to buy city quarter, perhaps. Let's see what junk dealer and lackeys draw. And if this board had plus buy, if, it would really be something. Gold. I don't want gold. Oh ho. Well, I think we just buy province. And we probably just do it again this turn, and then like maybe at some point we are going to buy another city quarter, but we're going to be getting the horse at least. I don't really care about too much. I just want to get rid of my coppers. I mean, at some point I'll need a little bit more. Well, actually, no, I won't. Never mind. I was gonna say I'll need more money, but I forgot about the patron. Yeah, so I mean, I can hit 8 every turn with patron. I mean, staying reliable, you know, will not be trivial, obviously, but plot will help. Livery will help. We may still need to buy a non-province card at some point here. Would not be surprised. But I think my deck is in better shape than my opponent's. All right. We could just stop here. We'd have 6 coins. Let's play the horse. My question is going to become, when do we pop the plot? So like right now we have 5 coins. We can draw some cards. We've also got some coffers stored up, so we don't like desperately need to draw here. I think I won't. This is enough to hit it. I mean, we're burning through our villagers, but we only need to hit province one more time, so. If we can hit province here without spending our last villager or our coffers, then I think we'll be in good shape. Like maybe we pop the plot. Oh, you just went for it. Okay, well that seems a little silly. I can't imagine how you think I'm gonna not hit province there with 4 cards to draw from. I mean, I guess if you think it's never going to get any better, but I don't actually think that was. I think my opponent would have been better off taking Duchy there. Like, their odds of winning were pretty poor either way, but I think that was, to me, that seemed clearly worse. Let's update the score. Okay, we got Page, Seer for draw again. It's got our gear. Research is the trashing. It's a little bit awkward with Page if we end up like setting the Page aside at the wrong time, but oh no, wait, there's Recruiter. Never mind. Okay. In that case, I think I want to go Page gear. Probably won't hit 5 this shuffle, but well, I'll have the option to just set aside. So I think that the Page is gonna miss the shuffle. We have 3 coppers down there, an estate and a Page. So if we set aside 2 coppers, we get to buy Recruiter next turn. Let's get another Page. Really too bad about this shuffle, though. I guess I should turtle the Page so that the Recruiter doesn't miss the shuffle. And the gear. But yeah, that just did not work out for me at all. What did my opponent open? Oh, they just opened Recruiter. Okay, sure. Well, that's not good. I thought, for some reason, I thought they'd hit 5 on turn 3. Yeah, well, I am way behind now. I do think we probably want to turn these both of these pages, the treasure hunters, like a. Let's see why I wouldn't. Might be worth getting a research to trash copper, even though that's slow and obnoxious. And again, it might not. The payload situation is going to be awkward because we got Festival as the only plus buy, which Seer doesn't particularly like. I mean, there is Seer gear, so like you know, if things line up for you well, you draw the gears at the Seers and you draw the Festivals at the gears, but. Anytime now. Something else to be cognizant of here is the fact that if I play both pages, don't see recruiter. Well, I did, so it's all fine. So, second recruiter or seer. Probably should be second recruiter. Yeah, another thing from a payload standpoint is that Treasure Hunter, in the long run, becomes pretty valuable. Because again, Seer likes silvers. I don't think I'm going to want to keep a Treasure Hunter as a Treasure Hunter like at this early stage of the game for that reason. Warrior, obviously, Seer likes that too, but okay, we're going to definitely want to set aside at least one estate. But what are we here? We could just buy another gear. We could set aside estate, copper. Although double estate, there's a pretty good chance we just get to trash both of the estates with our 2 recruiters. Yeah, that seems better, actually. And now the question is... Oh, I see the problem here. We're going to trigger a shuffle. Oh. Well, that sucks. At least we didn't lose one of the treasure hunters. And they played that terminally, so we don't have to worry about gaining 15 billion silvers because they play Festival and buy 2 cards. Have these 2 estates in hand. I want to play the recruiter, but on the other hand, if I turtle the recruiter, then my warriors don't miss the shuffle. Brig. That's my feeling on the situation. Damn that. Because I could have played this recruiter. If it weren't for that warrior attack, I could have played this recruiter, trash an estate, and then turtled the other recruiter. I also just should have set aside copper estate if I had realized. I didn't think through the whole business there. If I'd set aside copper estate, I would be hitting 5 here. I mean, I could hit 5 if I play the recruiter. I mean, I do have a gear and a recruiter in these cards. Maybe I should have not played the treasure hunters yet. But I think it's probably better to just turtle the recruiter. Damn it. It's frustrating. Alright, I don't want a silver. I could take a research for copper trashing. I could take a guide. Could take another gear. I do have 2 villagers. I think I'm going to take another gear. Well, eventually those will be nice to have, but right now I feel like that's punished. Probably should have turtled that treasure hunter. Alright, I want to play the warrior for sure. Go ahead and play the gear. Set aside gear state. Do we want festival or do we want seer? Maybe we do want festival first. Like we were gonna have, we've got 3 gears in our deck. Let's get a festival. Scepter. Makes some sense. Probably better than gold anyway. Alrighty. Let's go recruiting. Did I trash anything last time? Oh, I discarded a recruiter. That's nice. Let's play here. We don't find that festival. Okay. Well, now we don't want to set aside. Yeah, should we trash a silver here? We can, obviously. Should we? We're gonna run out of villagers. We do. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 coins. Yeah, silver. Scepter probably is the way to go here. Just take double seer. Probably. I mean, I have the gears, right? There's definitely an argument for taking another festival here. I'm gonna keep this warrior as a warrior. I can scepter the festival though. Alright, let's take another seer. Alright, we didn't need to trash that silver. As it turns out, I'm gonna want another page so I can get a treasure hunter. But now we can just start recruiting coppers with impunity, so that's fine. No! No! Ah, God! That's so bad. My warrior. And a silver. Ugh, gross. At least my opponent didn't find their festival. Well, I don't know. Playing the warrior seemed pretty... What? How the frig does that work? Does the scepter get set aside as a seer? I guess it must. Ugh. I guess I want to do it like this. I think I don't want to set aside at this point. The order doesn't really matter here. That. Thinking maybe I want all these coins. And so I'm going to turtle this recruiter. All right, I think this is going to be... We don't really need more draw that much. Like I think I'm gonna go C or double page. Although maybe I should go C or silver page. Probably. My opponent can get a whole bunch of silvers off of my 3 buys this turn. I don't know. It's just... I'm getting to open recruiter. Just seems really hard to recover from. I do have the 3 gears. So that's some advantage to me in terms of draw. They've got... Yeah, we've got the same number of seers. So they are low on draw. That's got to be Festival. Wait, so... The Scepter didn't... Like, get... Okay, that's very confusing. Or maybe it was the other... The other Seer that got set aside and not the Scepter? I guess that must be the case. How confusing. Well... Oh, you want a warrior, not a treasure hunter? I think, given that we gained that silver... It's probably correct to do that. We can just set these aside. Probably makes sense. Alright, we probably need another festival. I just go Seer Festival. I'd like to be buying another card, but I guess it's not on the table. Yeah, I guess gear... Oh, wait. Gear set aside is... I was thinking gear set aside is like strictly better than turtle because you get control when you play the card, but that's not true because you don't have the gear in your deck. So I probably should have turtled rather than set aside. Oh, well. It'll be fine, I think. Opponent's still not drawing that well. Still feel behind. But... maybe not as behind as I probably should be. I don't know why. I guess they just have a lot more silver? Is that the only reason? I think we've trashed a similar-ish number of coppers. And they've got more seers than I do at this point. I don't think that matters too much, though. Always add more gears. I don't know whether my opponent is meant to buy province here or not. That's probably what they're wondering about as well. They do. I get to gain 2 silvers this turn. So now I'm going to want to start trashing like coppers pretty aggressively. Oof. Should have... Oh, whatever. Let's go ahead and grab the silvers. 3 copper. Draw that all up. Turtle this. We could just double province. Or we still have an estate for some reason. Or we could. Oh, we probably want to do this regardless. We're gonna definitely take 1 province. The question is, do we want to add like? Well, we can be adding payload here without spending buys on it because of the treasure hunter. But if we want more buys, we need another festival. Could go festival gear. It's not clear that my opponent is going to be able to reliably double province anyway. Supposing they do double province next turn, that is going to put me in a bit of a bind, but maybe not too bad. I think, it'd also be nice to have a guide, but I think I'd rather just have the gear. Keep that. Definitely could be that I should have just gone double province there. I'm not really sure. Buying festival can turn the scepter into draw is the other thing. So I drew better this turn, despite I guess they did add a seer. Okay. Didn't recruit any coffers though. It's actually kind of weird. Think about it. Oh, they did last turn. At least once. Where's their other recruiter? I guess they didn't draw it. And now they're probably trying to decide whether to recruit coppers or whether they need them. The nice thing from my perspective is I've got the treasure hunter and they don't. So I can continue to add payload in that way. And it's going to be a little rougher for them. If they double province here, I guess I probably... I mean, I can take province double duchy. I should have the money for that. Might even have enough money for like province double duchy and like a 2 or 3. Not sure about that. Might depend on how many coppers I trash. And how many silvers I gain. Oof, goes the recruiter. So they want the coppers. Yeah, they're going to be reliable now that they're turtling like this. Oh, they have more money than I thought. They can actually triple here. They're not going to do that. But they are threatening to triple next turn. Oh, no, wait. No, they're not. Oh. Unless they take more payload here. Okay. I thought that they had 22 before the scepter, but it was after. Right? 18, 20, 22. Yeah. So they should probably take silver here to be able to threaten triple. Yeah, in retrospect, if I take another province last turn, and then there's 3 provinces left. If they doubled, that would have been better. I did not think they had this much money in their deck. First, well, never. Guess I could set aside province, but I'd rather wait on that. Ugh. Better. Still don't know whether I'm going to need all these coppers. I have another festival down there. Gets me to 6 coins. I think I should be able to use the treasure hunter. This is a little bit annoying. So they gain 3 cards. Right, so I also have 22. I would have had 24, not that it would really help. My quad duchy, I probably lose. I'm probably just posed no matter what I do here. Like, I mean, there's no way my opponent isn't drawing here, and I can't win with... Yeah, this is... Turns out I should have not recruited here, and I should have not bought province, or I should have taken double province last turn, and if I had done both of those things, well, actually I would have had 2 hero coins in my deck that way. So I guess I was probably just screwed no matter what I did. Alright. I mean, it is possible they'll dud, I guess. And the most reasonable way for them to dud involves not hitting triple province. So I guess we just take... We take a province, and then we take some duchies. We can't do province triple duchies. We can take province double duchy for 18. And then if we play... If we play scepter as draw, we can grab like a page. Even, probably just page. I think that's gotta be it. Yeah, because if I take quad duchy, then they just need to buy 4 duchies, which is easier than 3 provinces. Or maybe it's not. Maybe they can't buy. They don't have the buys to buy 4 duchies. Okay, hold on. So if I take quad duchy, I'm at 12 points, so I'm 1 point down. Then they triple province. And I need province, 4 more duchies, and an estate. That seems too hard. Too hard. Especially if I'm not gaining... I mean, I guess I can gain payload next turn with the treasure hunter again. But still, I won't have the buys. I have at most 5 buys. And I'll need province. I would... Oh, but I went first. Yeah. That stupid estate they kept hung on to. I mean, quad duchy increases the number of times that they have to not dud. So there is that. I guess that has some merit to it. I wonder if we actually do want to take the warrior at this point, if we need the draw. We might need the payload is the thing. Yeah. I'm just gonna bank on my draw coming through. I mean, if they triple province here, I might be able to spread out. Well, there's almost no chance they don't at least hit province, though, on the following turn. So I really just need them to only hit like double or something. They hit double province estate, or sorry, double province duchy. Then I need double province duchy, double estate, or double province, double duchy, which is going to be hard. Double province, double duchy, I think is maybe not possible. I mean, if I needed them to fail to hit triple province, then I should have taken a province. Well, they trashed the estate. That's something. Okay, well, assuming they can draw that copper, then they have their 24 coins, so yeah. They don't have any duration draw, so that's good. Okay. Let's see. It doesn't really matter here. All right. Here's hoping. once again, order doesn't really matter here. You can see. I guess we can set aside Duchy Province with this gear. Play these. So we got to play the recruiters. We can play a recruiter and maybe end up trashing. Oh, we got to trash copper. Damn. Damn, damn, damn. We didn't have the draw. Okay, how much do we have? 12 and 4 is 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 at most. Yeah. We needed our seers to do a little bit better there. Well, I think the correct trash here is silver. $16. So they have no duration draw, so they could dud. So we want to maybe go like double duchy. It's like if they can hit province, they can hit double duchy. So we take 2 duchies. Although, do we need all? We do need all 4 duchies, don't we? We take if we take. Let's see, 3 duchies is to 27. A province is to 33. They take it. Yeah, we would need a lot of estates, but I guess there's a world in which we can win that way. So I think what I do is I turtle this, probably, and take double duchy and a bunch of estates. And by a bunch, I mean 2. Three. It's definitely. We just gotta. Maybe I take a gear at this point. Don't like seeing that. Don't like seeing that. Don't like seeing that. Yeah, this has got to be over. It could have dudded. It was possible. Well, they kind of... Well, maybe they just stopped. Oh, well. I don't know. I think, as I was saying earlier, if I take the second province, the turn... I took 1 province. Yeah, well, that... It was a long one, but I would just, yeah, yes, it was. Anyway, I think if I take that second province that turn, I still end up in an awkward spot. Like, I was first player, but it was basically like I was second player that game because my opponent got to open recruiter and got champion first and all that. So I was basically playing like a turn or a turn plus behind. So like, and that difference in tempo really made a big difference. Like, I think my deck was actually a little bit better, a little bit more resilient. They did have 6 seers, which is, you know, stronger than 4, but I had all the gears. And I had the treasure hunter to be able to convert like copper into silver. They were down to 1 copper by the end. They did have the couple warriors. But I had more festivals. Maybe that was even not good. Maybe I had too many festivals. But yeah, I don't know if they I double province and I'm up by 1 province. There's 5 provinces left, and then they take like province and a bunch of duchies. Still, well, they can't take too many duchies, because then they have 3 buys. So they would take province, double duchy. Now there's 4 provinces left, and they're up by a province. At that point, I take 3 provinces. Yeah, I guess that would have been better. Because I would have still had 2 festivals, so I still would have had up to 4 buys. I mean, I was saying, I was trying to basically convert the scepter into a seer by taking the last festival that I did, but it didn't really work out because I needed extra money anyway. So it's definitely possible, and like the festival is obviously draw negative, so it's definitely possible I would have been better off not doing that. And I may have overlooked the fact that my opponent was somewhat buy limited there. I mean, yeah, I think I'm willing to call not taking the second province there a mistake. I mean, I think my opponent was still favored just because of the like the sort of tempo situation there, but maybe not as much as I had thought when I was reevaluating that later in the game. But yeah, I mean, it definitely felt like I was just scrambling to try to catch up to the opening there. They got to open recruiter. Their traveler didn't miss a shuffle. The fact that I played champion right after them was actually pretty surprising. Like, I kind of caught up a little bit on the travelers, but it's still like, and they also trashed a silver and a warrior of mine. That hurt a lot. Like, that's a draw card that's gone. That's also payload that I would have had. So that was pretty brutal. And yeah, just in general, I think I think probably if I take the second province, there's like a path to victory for me there, but I do think I was playing from behind, unfortunately. So yeah, I mean, at this point, I have won 7 games and lost 5. If I win out in my last match, maybe I could advance, but I kind of doubt it. But, you know, whatever. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. In any case, thanks for watching. I will be back at some point with my last match. I don't really know when. I'll also be starting up the new league season, probably within a week or 2. So until then.